What is up, YouTube? We're here today. I'm going to show you guys how to install Windows 11 Home in VirtualBox. Now, as what you're about to see in a moment, I have updated VirtualBox, which you're about to see in a moment. And one of those features is brand new, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you guys VirtualBox. So, I have updated VirtualBox to the latest version to now have new features. So without further ado, let's get it started. So I'm sure the audio is working, and it looks like it is. So Windows 11 Home is basically the home version of Windows 11. So without further ado, let's get this started. So as you may be able to tell, it kind of looks the same, but if I click on Help and then About VirtualBox, I am now officially running, at the time of recording, VirtualBox 7.0.2. Now, I did a video on how to install Windows 11 in VirtualBox, the Pro Edition to be exact, but now we actually get Virtual TPM and Secure Boot all in one. So without further ado, let's get this started. So we're going to click on New, and the first thing you notice with this change is we now have the ISO selection, you have the addition, you now have unattended installation. So for name, I'm just going to type in Windows 11 Home, and then you can now select the ISO image. You can go in here, or you can actually look for it in the drop down. Mine's right here. I'm doing Windows 11 Home. There's also the Home N. Now for this version of Windows 11 Home, you need to have a Microsoft account unless you do bypass NRO, but that's not going to be the case with this version of VirtualBox. And then we now have unattended installation. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Next, and then cannot overwrite machine folder. Just gonna type in V1. That's probably the best way to do that. Just hit Next, and now with this unattended guest OS install username, I'm gonna type in my name. You do need a password. Usually change me as default. Host name, we're gonna type in as Win11 Home. And for the domain name, we're just going to set it either as MS Home or Workgroup. I just usually do Workgroup. And you can now install it in the background, which it doesn't actually open up by default. And you can also request install guest edition, but that doesn't do automatically, which is kind of weird. Just click on Next. 4 gigs should be enough. And processor, I'm just going to set it to 4 cores. And then hit Next. Hard drive, you can leave it at 80 gigabytes, but I'm going to increase it to 120 gigabytes, and then hit Next, and then hit Finish. And then it should automatically start off the virtual machine. Another new feature that has been implemented in this version. And then after that, press any key to boot from the CD. That's one of the two things you need. Manually, just press the key to boot into the CD, and also to restart the virtual machine in the first restart point. And as you can see, it's automatically doing its own thing. It's going to start the setup, and then it's going to automatically format the hard drive for you. It's automatically going to copy files, and then you should be getting into the next restart point. That's one of the things that I really love with this new version of VirtualBox that I'm using. It's basically like a test version, to be exact. So we're installing Windows 11 Home, so as you can see, we're actually getting ready for installation. So it's pretty much going to do it by itself. So yeah, that's one of the neat things about VirtualBox 7. It now has a new feature to actually automate the installation by itself. So there you go. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. So if you want to watch the manual tutorial, I'm going to have the link in the description, but that's Windows 11 Pro, but it should be pretty much exactly the same thing, but you have to check skip unattended installation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and pause the video, so I'll be back. Now it's ready to restart, so we're going to click on restart now, and then it's going to automatically boot into the hard drive like we did with the Windows 11 Pro tutorial, that original one with the registry edits. As you can see, we actually do not need registry edits. In fact, I can even show you in settings that we got the new features. So if you go to System, we should now have TPM 2.0 enabled. EFI and Secure Boot is already enabled, but for whatever reason it's not. But it's getting ready, and then after that it's going to give us the next restart point, and then after that it should automatically log you in, and then it's going to get you right to the desktop. So it's going to get ready for these to load, and then after that it should automatically restart to the final phase of setup. And as you see, it looks like we're ready to restart. So as you can see, it's already restarted. The virtual machine has been automatically reset, and now we should be getting into the third phase of setup. And then usually in the third phase of setup, if you actually did version 6.1 before, you should probably want to have a Microsoft account. As you can see, it just went straight to the login screen, and now it's automatically going to get you to the desktop. So as you can see, it's going to take a few minutes, and then when it says almost there, you're pretty much done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and pause the video, so I'll be back. As you can see, we are pretty much done with the installation, and with that, we have successfully installed Windows 11 Home in VirtualBox. If you type in WinVer here, we should see that we are now running Windows 11 Home in VirtualBox. Usually it's going to have S mode in there, but since we were offline and we're not in S mode, I can pretty much tell you if you go to settings and then go to apps, and then I think if you go to apps and features, it should already set to anywhere, so that's pretty much the default, but most of them should come with S mode in there. So that's it, folks. So that's how to install Windows 11 Home in VirtualBox. So thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button, and also follow me on Twitter at RubenAlphaDC17, and also follow me on Instagram at RubenTheTransitFin. So that's how to install Windows 11 Home in VirtualBox. So I'll see you next time.